right, this is my update video for the month of October. I'll tell you this. This time of year, I'm kind of glad softball's over. October is bow season for us here in Texas. Go bow hunting, whitetail and axis, whatever you want to shoot. I'm actually, the month of November, I'll be a guide, part-time guide at a Baker 3 Ranch, 20,000 acres in Rock Springs. So I'll be out there doing that with some people off and on. We're still going to be doing bat reviews as long as the weather will permit us. We were hitting at 7:30 in the mornings. Now we're probably going to move it back to 8:30 or 9 because it's getting too cold in the mornings here. And it's already starting to cool down a little bit. No longer in the, upper 90s, 100 degrees. It's actually in the low 80s here during the day. We hit today a little bit. I want to talk about that later on. I don't want this video to be too long. I want to try to get it in before it gets too dark here. First, let me talk about, we just got back from Vegas, and I was actually pleasantly surprised with the umpires. I know I've been bitching and moaning, giving those guys a hard time, but from what a few of the games that I saw, or a few of the games that I was involved in up in Vegas, I thought they were pretty good. From what I heard about the guys that were playing major and AAA were not so much. But then again, you're not going to get all of them that are just good. And I know there's a shortage in umpires, good umpires. We actually, a couple of umpires, Reggie from San Antonio, I think he's one of the best. Greg Jones from San Antonio was up there. I watched a few of his games. He's one of the best that I've seen. But all in all, I was actually impressed with the umpires. I mean, y'all guys might have had games where you just bitched and moaned. For the first time in 10 years, I will no longer be with Crush next year. I actually texted John today, told him that I think it's time for me to move on with that team. It's nothing personal. It's just and I don't want to get into anything. I don't want you guys to think anything. I just think in my life right now, it's time for me to move on. I've been with this team for 10 years, guys. Won some rings with them. John is probably one of the best sponsors that I've actually played for. The only other one that was comparable to him, Terry Epstein, ERA out of Denver. If you guys remember Terry, he was a great sponsor. John is there with them. I hope the team does better this year. It's coming up next year. In Worlds, we kind of didn't do very good in Worlds. And I think they're going after a few more players. I wanted to get out of the way so they can, this early, so they can make a decision on what they're going to do next year. John has a 60s and 65 team, so I wish them the best. Talk about a few things here. I'm going to put out a video at the end of December about the best bats for 2021. I said I was going to do this last year, but it's just so hard to grab all the bats that we had last year, and I'm going to do it this year. There was a game I'm kind of going through. I've got a whole list of shit I want to talk about. We were playing up in Vegas. I want to X these off whenever I talk about them. And I know I brought it out here. Here it is. There was a game in Vegas, guys, and we were watching it. This one guy come up and he just ripped the pitcher. Hit him. Pitcher wasn't too happy. This is in 60 Major Plus. They grabbed the bat from the guy and took it. I think they called him out. Umpire grabs the bat, takes it. Tournament director comes in, grabs it, takes it off. Well, somebody grabbed that tournament director. What are you going to do with it? And he goes, I'm going to compression test it. Well, the bat had a crack in it. So they threw the bat out of the game. And he went in and compression tested it. Came back out, and I think John Roach, our coach, grabbed him and said, what is the verdict? Because that was the game before ours, and we were going to play this team another, down the road a little bit. And he goes, it passed compression. This guy was swinging, if I'm not wrong here, this guy was swinging an OG Dudley balance bat. And common sense, you guys out there, if a bat is cracked, it loses compression tremendously. But he was swinging a cracked bat. Well, he said it passed compression, but he could not swing it in a game because it was cracked. Gave it back to him, said it's okay. Said it passed compression. Well, just by hearing the story and watching John talk to him, I call bullshit on that, because if a bat's cracked, it's not going to lose. And what is the compression testing? Why are they compression testing bats? Because, hey, this is the deal, guys. If it's a shaved bat, all right, there's a lot of shaved bats out there that pass compression testing. You cannot, like the Dudleys, all the Dudleys, right? They're compression testing at 130, 140, well broke in, 3,000 swings. So what's your number? What SSUSA? What's your number that you said it passed? What's your failing number? But I didn't get a hold of him. I didn't want to get into that shit with the tournament director that was there at Aurora Grande, and I didn't want to talk about it, because everything John was telling me that I heard him talking to the guy about, I was like, bullshit. They think they can compression test the bat and find out if it's been shaved. That's bullshit. You can't compression test. There's got to be some other way. And another thing too, there were some teams out there in 60 Major Plus. Guys, I'm going to warn you right now. If you're swinging a bat and you hit a ball pretty well and you pass that bat to the guy behind you, that's a red flag to everybody at the ballpark. And there was a couple of teams out there doing that. They're passing it down the line. And I'm just telling you, that's a red flag. Don't do that. I mean, people in the stands, people start talking about that shit. I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just saying it's a red flag to a lot of people if you're swinging a bat and then the guy behind you swinging that same bat. And then about 3-4 down the row, another guy is swinging at your same bat. That's a red flag. Don't do that. Because people look at that in a way. Oh, I am actually in the market, and I've said this before, but I can't find one for a bat tester. And the reason I'm going to buy a bat tester is because, for one, you guys want to know what the compression test after, right when they're in the wrapper, 100 swings in, 200 swings in. This is future down the road, what I'm going to do. And y'all guys want to know the compression testing. Even at 1,000 swings, if I can get them to 1,000 swings, you guys want to know what a bat compression test at. I'm not a big firm believer in compression testing when it comes to things like I was talking about, the shave stuff, the road stuff. I actually think it would benefit a lot of the older guys if you compression tested it. Like Ken Vanbergard talked to me about this. He wanted to get one just because he knows that he hits a ball with a compression tested bat at like 190. So he would actually compression test a bat that he was breaking in. When it got to 190, he would put it in his bag. When it lost compression below that, he would just give it away to somebody, and which the barrel got too soft. That's the only reason, and I think a lot of you guys are leaning in that direction because I put out those videos about it, about the softer barrel bat helps a lot of the older guys. So I think that would benefit you guys if I started doing that and it's not talking about it. The lower compression for you older guys is better. The higher compression for you younger kids are better for your swing. your fastest swing. So I think it would help a lot of guys out there if y'all did that and actually seen me do it. I don't want to get into the bats yet because I got them all here in front of me. When I was in Vegas, there's a video coming out in the next couple of days. I was actually, and I kind of get pissed off about this every time I watch the video. Not really pissed off, because at the end I made the decision to run. A lot of guys, and we are probably the worst team doing this, is in the dugout yelling for the runner to go to third from first, yelling at the runner for advancing on fly balls, screaming at him, you know, not listening to the base coach, because my base coach on this situation was holding me. Guys in the dugout were sending me, and I was damn near thrown out. Well, the bad part about that is I tore my quad, and that video is coming out in the next couple of days. So, and I blame myself for it. I don't blame any of the guys, because they were just trying to get me to third pretty fast, and I'm not a slow guy, so I guess they think I'm faster than that. I want to thank every one of you guys in Vegas that came up and thanked me, Billy, and Bubba for what we do. That really means a lot. And I told you guys this whenever you came up. We're here to help you guys. We don't make money off this except for what I do for advertising on YouTube, and that goes back into buying balls, pitching screens, just stuff like that. Bat tape, bat spray, batting gloves, whenever the guys need batting gloves. I'm actually gonna buy some hats, bat bags, just stuff like that with our logo on it. Those are things that the advertising actually puts money in my account, and then I turn around and I buy stuff with it for the team, for the guys. I'm going to talk about the bats last, and I'm kind of scrolling through here. Here we go. Hydration, guys. You guys have asked me about the hydration. I've got a video coming out about the hydration. I love it. I do it before I go to these tournaments. It helps me out. You guys think this is something that they're actually starting to do. They're putting it out there where a lot of guys can go to it and get hydrated. They got aminos, they got all this other stuff, vitamin B's, the B vitamins, electrolytes, all this stuff they're going to have in it. I had a few of you guys ask me about COVID, and I know I can't say too much on here, but what I am going to say is, they asked me, do I have any side effects? Yes, I do have side effects. A lot of them that I have, I'm actually getting my wind back. I'm not gasping for air, when I'm having a long conversation with somebody, but it's mental, basically. I have been told it's going to go away. Just don't know when. I'm into it for, going on 15 months right now, and I still carry the antibodies for the COVID virus. I'm going to let you guys know how much of the antibody I carry in my blood later on in the video. But the mental one is brain fog. A lot of you guys, you'll see interruptions in my videos within the last year. Well, that's me just losing my train of thought. It's happening to other people that I've talked to about COVID, where they just a lot of times they're anxious, a lot of times they just can't think. They got to get away from things and relax. Anxiousness, anxiety is another one. That a lot of heart palpitations at nighttime. Those for me have gone away. I mean, I think they went away at 9 months. And I talked to the other guys, hang on, it's going to go away, because you sit there and watch TV at nighttime, and then boom, 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 your heart starts to race, and you really don't know why. Well, that's what I heard is COVID. A little bit of depression, but not really a lot. And a lot of the guys, every one of the guys that I talked to, or girls that I talked to that's had COVID and been in the hospital, have had these same side effects from the COVID virus. There is and I got to mark these out because I'll freaking go over them because there's a lot. There is there's a book out that I want you guys to read. It's called 10,000 Hours. It's not called 10,000 Hours. There's a name of it, and I didn't bring it. I'll put it up where you guys can see the book. It talks about putting in 10,000 hours. That's how come when you see like Johnny Bailey, I'll call him out there hitting and hitting and hitting. You know, Billy Blake did it back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, hitting all the time. There is a number for that to get good at your craft. Doesn't have to, it could be shooting basketballs, it could be throwing a football, it could be hitting. It's 10,000 hours you have to put in. And guys, I did the math on this the other day. I don't have it in front of me, but I did the math on this the other day. Whenever you take a round of BP and it's 15 swings and 15 swing increments, those 15 swings are going to probably be around 3 minutes long. Then you're putting in 3 reps, right? Something a lot of guys do too. That's how come I was saying years ago about, you know, putting in 10 reps, and 10 reps is what they used to do here in town. A lot of the older guys, I would actually push those guys to put in 15 to get that number up, because if you don't put in the reps, guys, you're not going to get that 10,000 hours to be good at what you do, mentally thinking about things, doing whatever you do. It's got to be 10,000 hours, and there is a book out there I want you guys to read on it, because we're getting into the off season and give you guys something to do. So 10,000 hours is the book that I want you guys to read. It's not 10,000 hours. It talks about it. Talks about a lot of things in there, and I want to get that to you guys. I am in the off season too, and you guys don't know this, but I'm going to take you guys through it when I do it. I have a sports hernia on my left side. It's in the oblique area. If you guys ever heard about that, I'm going to try to get that fixed. I've had it for years. I heard it doing decline bench about 10 years ago, and within the last 2 years it's been getting worse and worse. So I'm going to try to get that fixed in the off season. Kind of take you guys through that whenever I do it. It's getting dark, so I got to hurry up, and I don't even know if I'm going to get to it, so there might be a 2-part in this if it gets where you guys can't see me. 12-inch versus a 13-inch. Let me tell you the myth of this 12-inch versus a 13-inch. I don't know if I have one in here, but a lot of you guys saying I can't hit a 12-inch. Can't hit a 12-inch. It's just I mishit it. Well, no, you don't mishit it, because whenever you're swinging, your eye to hand coordination, you're going to hit that ball and that barrel in about that big of a spot, right? It might even be lower than that. It's probably about that big of a spot if your timing is on. If your timing's off, that's how come when you miss hit on a bat, your timing's off, you hit it all over. Let me tell you the only thing about you older guys that you maybe want to go to a 13-inch because of the trampoline effect. Barrels on a 13-inch tend to get a little softer than a 12-inch. So that would benefit a lot of guys with the lower bat speed. That's the only thing, guys. That big old barrel, if it compresses, you know, gets a soft barrel on it, you know, that it will reflex a lot slower for you. So that would benefit a lot of the older guys. You younger kids, you know, with that 80, 90, 100 mile an hour bat speed, y'all would benefit from a 12-inch barrel, because it's going to recoil faster for you. It's not going to compress, is what I'm trying to get to. So that's the only difference. But I hear a lot of guys come up to me and talk to me about the difference between a 12-inch and 13-inch. They just mishit a 12-inch. They can't do it. Well, yeah, you can do it. You just got to get used to it. I want to talk about this, and I'll even talk in the dark about this until I get to these bats. Then I'm going to talk about, and I think I already have enough time. There was a video out there, guys, and I think after this I'm going to go into the bats, kind of give you a quick rundown of what we're working on. There is a video out there. They talk about weighing bats, and it's a fat guy BP, I think is who it is, and he talks about the balance points, and then he's got a few people replying to him, and my name was thrown in there. So I watched the video, you know, I heard what he was talking about. Shit, I might do that. I heard what he was talking about in the video, and I watched the video very closely. So I kind of want to reply to that video, and I'm going to do it in a video. so everybody can see it. And then what they're talking about is the way people load bats. The way bat companies load bats. And then what I do with mine is, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I learned it from Billy Blake back in the 80s. Well, what he would do is he would weigh the whole bat, and then he would weigh the end loads that he would put in the bat, and he would weigh the handles. So I kind of caught on to what he was doing, and I started doing it when I did this about 12 years. It started about 12 years ago. So I started weighing the points, right, and weighing the knob, and then weighing the total weight. Well, this gentleman that was doing it, I noticed that his numbers were off from my numbers, and I noticed that when he was talking about a balance bat, that he was getting a big end load on a balance bat. And then they was mainly the Anarchy, because he was talking to me about an Anarchy, because I was getting different numbers on the Anarchy than he was. So he was getting like a 17-1 end load on the Anarchy. So I was going, there's something, he's doing something wrong, because I'm not getting those numbers. And then we talked back and forth to each other, and he was trying to explain to me. I said, listen, your end weight and your knob weight, when you put them together, they're not coming up as the total weight of the bat. And he goes, well, I talked to the guy from Anarchy, and he says they never do. And I said, I understand that they never do, but they're not going to be an ounce and a half off. They're going to be close. And here's another thing too. I've put my weights against Bobby Gilbert. Does his same way I do it, because Bobby Gilbert back in the day, like everybody did, would pull it off of to get the balance point of the bat, would pull it off of a table, and then it would tilt, so they'd have that balance point right there. I think, and here's the deal too, guys, there was a lot of comments on that video about there's no accurate way to do that. There's not an accurate way to freaking do this, but mine is pretty damn close. And as long as I'm doing it, every bat that I have, the same way that I've been doing it since the beginning, then it can give you guys a good example of where that weight is and how much weight is on the end of that bat. And I've been doing this for years, guys. I've had it in my my website, so you guys can get on there and look. And there's a lot of people, here's the deal, funny part about all this is a lot of people saying there's no way to do this, no way to do this. We'll come up with a solution better than mine. You know, if you guys can do it, I'll go that way and do it. But I want to talk about the way he does his and explain in a video why I think he's doing his wrong and why his numbers are so skewed, because he actually put a bat on there that didn't have an end plug in it, you know, and he said that bat was like a, you know, 16-2 or something like that on the end with no end plug in it, and then he put another plug next to it, and he started doing all this stuff. But I want to that's not the way I do my shit. I watched him the way he did it. That's not the way I do it, just to let you guys know. I'm going to do a whole video on the way I do it and why I do it like that, and how you can get balance points on bats, because I think we're moving in the direction right now going forward where everybody, and guys, a lot of bat companies out there are changing their loads within the last 5 years to do this, because they're putting less handle weight, more end load on the end, dense mass on the end. Like Billy always talks about, it's just not that. It's just not end load, dense mass compared to handle weight. That's just one of the factors. It's got a lot to do with handle flex, barrel flex, everything like that. I'm getting way too far into this. I'm not cutting off the video. That video I'm going to do, I'm kind of talking into that, but I want to get to that video and kind of let you guys know the way he's doing his bats wrong. The way I'm doing my bats, I think I have to go through it again and kind of explain how I do the weights, how I do the end weight, and kind of give you guys a rundown. And I do every one of them the same, and that's the way I get an accurate reading on an end load. And the reason I know, guys, because a lot of and there's a lot of bat companies out there following this way that I do it. And I was told by a manufacturer that if you take that weight, you know, and up and down the barrel, and that's kind of what he did a little bit, that if you take that weight and you put it here, it's going to be the same as you put it here on the barrel. Let's say this is the barrel, and he put it here, and it's going to be the same as you put it here. And I kind of debunked that in a video to him to explain to it, you're wrong. You know, it's not going to be the whole ounce, but it's going to kind of taper down a little bit the more you go toward the knob if you're doing an end load. So like I said, I'm getting way too far into this. It's going to be 30-40 minutes before I get out of here, and I think that's it that I've talked about. I want to kind of go through this before I get to the bats, and then I'm going to talk about the bats that I have coming out. And the guy on the video was saying it's flawed. Is it flawed? And he was asking questions. But the good part about that is he's still doing it. He's not going to key it away from it, and he's still doing it. He thinks it's flawed, but he's still doing it. And I think that's it. Again, I want to talk, before I get to these bats, I want to talk about this. All you guys that come up and say, hey, thanks, that really means a lot to me. It really does. And I called Billy up that night and Bubba, and I said, hey, man, there's a lot of people, we're getting the message out there. We're talking to people. We're just not doing bat reviews either. We're helping people out. And I actually, when you guys come up to me, I called Billy up after that night, and I'll talk to them about it. Man, there is a lot of people out here that like what we do, and they get pumped up about it whenever I get back. The one thing too is I get a lot of text messages, I get a lot of emails, I get a lot of messages on Facebook, and guys, if I don't answer you back, there's a reason why I don't answer you back. I'm not trying to ignore you. I've got so much, my son's in football now. I've got so much stuff. I was at the ranch a couple of days ago just feeding animals, there is just so many things that I'm doing, during the day. It's a lot of times I cannot get back to you, and then I forget, because, we're getting old and we just forget a lot of things. Let me talk about bats. I want to grab a few, and I'm not going to go, because I got so many of them, I'm not going to go through and pick them out by who they come from. This is a Dudley Doom. This is a 12-inch. It's got the 3-ounce, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's got a 3-ounce end load. Oh, there it is. It's got a 3-ounce end load to it. And it's got, the one thing I like about Dudley started doing is taking weight out of the knob. This one's got a 16.5 end load, got a 9 handle. I've heard good things about this bat. We haven't swung this one yet, but I've heard good things about this bat. I'm kind of sticking back here. I'm telling you what's on the agenda for the next 2 months, maybe 3. Alan Tanner, AT, the gamer. This is a 26 ounce. It's got a 16.3 on the end. It got a 9.2 hand. 16.3, 9.2. A lot of you guys like listening to that, or hearing what that is. This is a 2-piece Onyx bat right here. You guys can see that. Yeah, you guys can see that. This one is a 2-piece. It looks like a 13-inch barrel. It's actually a 26.5. It's got 17.7 on the end, 8.2 on the hands. That's a sledge, guys. That's a sledge. I mean, that balance, look at that. You're still getting it way in there. I don't know if I can swing that one. Dudley Doom. Right here again. This one is might be the one. Yes. Dudley calls this a balance bat, and I don't know who did this, but this is called a balance bat. And look at these numbers: 17.4 on the end, 8.9 on the hands. That's not a balance, Dudley. It's not. I can't wait to swing that thing. It's called they said balance. Balance is written right on it. I'm going to talk about them later. This is a 27 ounce AT-18, the game ready. 27. It's 26.8 total weight. It's got a 17.2, which I love those numbers. 17.2 and 9.3 hands. 17.2 on the end, 9.3 hands. We just started swinging these guys. I'm going to have a video out in the next couple of days on us swinging those bats. It looks good. I'm going to put this bat out there too. Y'all guys, this is one of the first bats we started swinging the other day, and what we did was we put it on hold until after Vegas. This is Bubba's gamer right now, the 12-inch, the Melee 3. He actually, this is one of his bats he brought back from Vegas. This is now look, this is what's surprising me. The numbers on this is a 16.3 end load and a 9.0 handle weight. knob weight, call it. But this bat performs very well, guys. This is a very good bat. This is the one that we did video on before Vegas. This was his gamer in Vegas. He didn't make an out in Vegas. Only got 8 at bats, 7 at bats or something like that. But we're still working on this bat right here. This is another Dudley Doom. This is a balance. Now this is actually more, no, that's another one too. And I don't know why Dudley's doing this. This is a balance. It's a 17-ounce end load with a 9.3 hands, 9.3 knob. And we have not swing. It's 27 ounce. So I don't know why, because for one, they're going to get good performance on it because it has that mass on the end. Now, this one, the Miken, the new one, the gamer. Bubba just gave me this today, the Ultra, and they're called the Game Ready bats. We have not swung this bat, guys. We're going to get to it in the next, it's a 14-inch barrel. Miken, the new series of gamers that they have out, this one in the AT. And then Mike Dell has a balance gamer that's coming out that he talked to me about in Vegas the other day. I had a lengthy conversation with him. Now, guys, I want to talk about this bat. Oh, there's another. Look at this balance. It's a balance Doom right there. And these numbers are more comparable to a balance. It's got a 16.1. This is a 26 ounce. It's got a 16.1 end load, which is when you get down to 16s, it's the balanced bat. And you got an 8.9 handle weight. Well, the handle weight should be a little higher for them balanced bats. And another thing too, that what you guys don't understand is you're talking about end loads when it comes to balance. You shouldn't be talking about end loads. You're talking about handle weight when it comes to balanced bats. That handle weight's got to be up around 10, 10.5, or 11, 11.5 for a balanced bat on these balance. Too many guys are focusing on end loads for balanced bats. Balanced bats shouldn't have an end load, big end load. There's 2 bats here, and I got a few of these. The sleeper, guys, this year, I'm telling you right now, and we hit it again today, and there's going to be video out on this bat for the next couple of 3 days, maybe. Everybody that hits with us excited about this bat. Billy Blake, that his gamer that he's been swinging is the diamond, 2-piece diamond. He's been swinging it for going on 7-8 months now. He has thrown that bat to the side, and this is his new gamer. Now this is the sleeper of this year, and a lot of you guys hate this paint job. Probably if it had a little bit better paint job, you couldn't buy one of these, right? Because remember, if you guys remember, up in Vegas, they ran out of the Suncoast 12-inch 1-piece Melee 3s. They're out. They had to ship more in because a lot of you guys are buying them when you're there. This is the sleeper of the year, and if it stays the way it is right now, because there's more coming, and I'm going to do a review on the ones that are coming in, we are excited about this bat. I'm telling you right now, this is it right here. Onyx, enough said. And a lot of you guys hate that paint job, but it's actually just simple for me. You don't have a lot of paint on this bat, right? I actually think that if you put too much paint on a bat, it deadens it. Too much decal deadens it. So I think with this is a 26.5. It's got a 17-ounce end load and 8.6 on the hands. This is a 2-piece. This is a 13-inch barrel. Okay. This is a 1-piece, right? This is a 13-inch barrel 1-piece. Again, it's the Onyx. This is a 26.5, and this got a 17.2, 8.4 on the hands. Right there, you have it. Where I do my weights. So this is a sleeper, guys, for this year. The bats that I don't have with me right now because Blake took them to Utah with him were the 12-inch 1-piece and 2-piece. Both of them 26 ounces. Both of them have, one has a 16.8 on the end on the 2-piece with a 9.4 handle, 8.4 handle, excuse me. One thing about Carlos Vega does is he puts very little weight in his hands. He wants that sledge effect. Now, I'm not going to go into detail like he talked to me about how these bats are made. about the carbon on them. But I will tell you this, those bats are hot. I'm just telling you, those bats, if they're the same, like I'm kind of giving you a little teaser right now, but I'm waiting for the production models to come out and then test them against these, because every time you do a first run, they're always on a lot of, not talking about Carlos, I'm talking about a lot of companies out there, and which brings up a red flag. And I kind of talk to Carlos anytime I find something like this that's like, wow, I usually call the manufacturer. Okay, is this the production model? And they say yes, it is. And I haven't been burnt yet, except for Dudley. Remember the hot W's? I was kind of burned on that one because they reassured me that was actually a production model. But what he told me today is, Dave, they are the same, and he's actually got some in Vegas right now that he's trying on the one-piece 12-inch that he's trying to give people to actually swing. The 13-inch are there on the shelf where you can buy them, but that 12-inch that we're swinging is hot, guys. You'll see the video coming out in the next couple of days. Bubba actually grabbed it. He was in Vegas when me and Billy, Mark Reeves was swinging it. You know, he hits with us quite a bit, and he loves the bat. He got great performance on the bat, and he told us, I've never hit a ball that far. I've never hit a ball that far as I did with that bat, and he's excited about it. So when we told Bubba he was in Vegas, Bubba comes in today, and you guys are going to see the video in the next couple of days, and he just flat out crushes it. He actually, if you watch the video, Billy actually takes the bat back away from him because that's his gamer up in Utah, so he's taking it with him. That's the sleeper bat of the year, guys. They have stumbled upon or built, and the one thing I said about Carlos, and a lot of people have talked to me about Onyx, and I said Onyx will have a great bat one day, and the reason is because Carlos is so passionate about building a great bat, but he's not pushy. Every time I've talked to him, he's always said, take this and tell me what you think about it. Take this. He never does pump his shit up. The one thing I like about Carlos, and me and Carlos, we talk probably once a year. But whenever, and even when he finds something that is this good, he doesn't call me up and say, hey, can you do some video on this? I actually stumbled into this, and I let the guys swing it, and they got great performance on it. And then when I talk to him about it, you can tell he's so he just says, just tell me what you think about it. He's not like other people out there that would just pump, get the hype going. And Carlos has not got the hype going on this that I've seen. He's actually swinging a lot of the other bats, and that's one thing I like about him. He wants to be that bat guy, and he tweaks. He gets something, they swing it, they tell him about it. His guys, they tell him about it, and he tweaks. Look at that in plug, guys. See, that's when I know he's going in the right direction. Y'all guys remember I bitched and moaned about that in plug, how it was had a concave in it. It was actually into the barrel, and I told him that's actually shortening your barrel and pushing it way up into here, right? So look at that, that's flat. So he's listening to his guys, and he's building bats because he wants to have a great bat up there, and I think he's headed in that direction he's headed right now. Guys, I'm way into this. I'm gonna be 40 minutes long. I thank you guys for listening. I'm kind of like long-winded right now, talking about all this stuff. I'm pretty pumped about these bats that I'm going to get. I'm going to swing all of them. I have a lot more guys coming in that are going to start swinging these bats. What we thought about doing with me and Billy was, and we listen to what you guys say about having a variety of players hitting these bats, and I think that's what we're going to do a lot more video. We're going to get a lot of the 70-year-olds in here swinging, a lot of the 40-year-olds guys swinging, 55, 60-year-old guys in here swinging, do a lot more video. They just won't be on the review. Might be a few of them because I can't make that review more than 15 minutes long. You guys are going to get disconnected, and then you'll mainly want to see us hit them or see other guys hit them. And there'll be in other videos, the behind the scenes video that I got out there, an hour long. A lot of these guys will be in those videos, and you can hear what they're saying about the bat. And you can always learn a lot of stuff by watching those hour and 15-minute long videos. You can hear what Billy says. You can hear what Billy talks about when he's talking about a bat, or even when talking to each other about how we're swinging. And, you know, I listen to Billy, I listen to Bubba when they're talking about things that we're doing. with our swing, but they'll ask me questions on what am I way out on my front foot when I'm hitting the ball, and we'll kind of go back and forth, and those are on those videos that you can listen to, maybe pick up some tips from Billy. And that's what I listen for, is Billy talking to me throughout the last 41 years we've been doing this. Thanks, guys, and I really appreciate you guys coming up to me in Vegas, talk to me even through the whole year, the tournaments that I was at. And if I'm not, here's the deal too, since I'm not going to be traveling with Crush anymore to these tournaments, I'm thinking about even going to these tournaments and just hanging out with you guys, talking, watching some teams, do some videotaping on a lot of these guys. I love watching AAA. I love watching Major. I do, because there's a lot of people there. There's a lot more people, a lot more teams in those than there is anywhere else, in the Major Plus division. And I actually kind of sneak away when the wife's not with me, and I'll go down there and kind of sneak in and I'll talk to a few of you guys where I like watching teams play. Thanks, guys, I have some videos coming out. I'm starting my off-season workout routine next week, and I'm actually go through that and kind of put out video, little clippets of video of me working out, getting ready for next year. That I have a bunch of new stuff I want to talk about. Thanks, guys.